Yeah, we'll see what we get out of it.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. I'm like,
Hi.
hi, everyone. Walker here with another video. Today we've got my dad, Phil, and wanted to sit down, talk with you about, just a bunch of different things related to cycling and you coming up on it. I guess first of all, where are you from?
I'm from outside London originally.
Yeah.
A place called Chessington, which was, yeah.
Yeah.
I've said everything I need to say about Chessington.
So when you got your start cycling at a very young age out there?
Yeah, there was an old guy lived on the Leatherhead Road heading out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Was the chairman of a local cycling club. It wasn't that local, it was still 5 miles away. But that was the Kingston Wheelers. And I believe that Francis Cade was a member of Kingston Wheelers.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. We'll see. Maybe he'll see it. Maybe he'll say hi. What age did you start, like Kingston?
13.
13?
Yeah.
And was that purely like a club thing, or was it more just like for racing?
It was a club thing. It was just something I was interested in, because my sister's godfather was a member of the CTC, the Cyclist Touring Club.
Okay.
And they used to take their annual vacations out in the Alps.
Yeah.
With their +4s and their leather shoes and their big heavy pannier bags, and used to go riding up and down the Alps, and it was absolutely brilliant. I got interested in, like, what are the Alps? And then it was like, oh, you should watch the Tour de France. And at the time, the coverage you would get of the Tour de France, you'd get 7 minutes maybe of the whole week.
And this is what year was this about?
This is like the 72, 73.
Okay, cool. So like right around when you're starting and everything,
Yeah.
you're getting interested in all that. What changed that interest from like purely as like a lifestyle thing to racing? Because I know you started racing when you were younger.
I think it was just being attached to the club, and that's what other guys in the club did, and everybody was older. It was like me and my friends were like youngsters in there, but there was like a bunch of older folks, and everybody was ancient to us because we were just teenagers.
Yeah. What's the first bike you have? How do you know like what to get?
Mum and Dad thought I was interested enough that they splurged and spent, I don't know, £18 maybe on a, which at the time was like $36.
Yeah, sure.
On a Sun.
Oh,
And it was my pride and joy. It was a white Sun with a couple of red panels.
I'll see if I can find like a photo and put it up in front of our faces.
Oh yeah, that'd be. So that was huge, and that lasted. And then when I started racing, I believe I started racing on that.
Wow.
Another time I was riding a 21.5-inch frame. So I was riding like a 54-centimeter frame.
And how old were you by the 13?
13,
When you were riding the
yeah.
54? Oh wow, so you were already getting up there. And
I was,
I
tallish.
mean, but when did you get to your current height? Because you're, for reference, the camera can't see it, but you're 6'3", or
on
maybe
a good
just
day.
at 6'4", probably on a better day.
On a good day.
Yeah. In terms of that, when did you like get to that height, and then you're like, okay, cool, I can get the bike that I'm gonna get. What bike is that? What bike are you getting?
The Allen, I'd had a 23-inch Pearson, which is still like the frame that I regret not having anymore of all time.
Right.
Somebody had this Allen for sale. It was 62 centimeter, which was hugely exotic in the first place, because in England everything was measured in inches.
Yeah.
So there were 23-inch frames, there were 23.5-inch frames, there were 24-inch frames, and this was a 62 centimeter. Ooh.
Yeah. No, a new language. It sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, so it's Italian.
Centimeter.
I think the only competition photo of me is on that bike, and that was like towards the end of my actual racing career.
What was like a worst bonk, maybe?
Worst bunk
Yeah.
was the 100. It was up near Aylesbury, and I had no way of getting to it. It was the only one I could get an entry for, so I entered for it. I couldn't get there. My mum and dad pointed out that they had friends in Aylesbury, and maybe they could go up and visit. So we went up on the Saturday. They drove up on the Saturday, dropped me off, let me stay with the friends. They drove back.
Yeah.
And I got my bike and I rode I think it was 30 miles to the start.
Wow.
So I'm already like 30 miles into the day. Plus,
30 miles.
I left my
Before the
cycling
race.
shoes in the back of the car. So I did it in sneakers.
Yeah.
I was doing fine until about 77, 80 miles in, 75, 80 miles in, something
Yeah.
like that. And it's just like, oh my God, I'd never experienced anything like it. It was like having water for legs, but water with nerves in it. So you could actually like feel them do this,
Yeah.
but you couldn't, there was no energy. There was
Jelly,
like
yeah.
nothing to push them. Not jelly, perfect, yeah. Somebody went past and saw that I was suffering and like kind of slowed up and handed me his Kendall mint cake. Kendall mint cake is just phenomenal. It's stunning. It's pure sugar.
Yeah. We don't have that over here, do we?
I've got some. I've
You
got
do?
some at
Okay.
home. You can try some.
Okay, I will.
It's pure sugar. It's mint. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I got about 5 more miles before it started kicking in.
Yeah.
So I was able to get to the finish. I was able to finish the 100.
Well, at least you finished.
I finished it.
Definitely in pain.
And then I had to ride 60 miles home.
Oh, okay. So no fun.
So it was like 30 miles from the friends to the start, and then another 60 miles back to
Yeah.
Chessington.
Well, at least
So
you don't have to race it.
that's true. I
Yeah.
couldn't. I
Take
couldn't
your
have.
time with that one.
It was my first ultra.
That's
That's like 190 miles on the day. So
Yeah. I should ask, what's your favorite bike you've ever owned?
I think the Javelin's way up there because
Yeah.
it's just very, very responsive and whippy. But the Pearson, it was such a beautiful color. It was like Will's. It was that lilac.
Like the Surly, yeah.
Like Will's, but it was slightly lighter than that
Yeah.
and had a little like iridescent
Sure.
color to it, like in your Athos. And it was heavier, so it was like less in favor at the time because I was a kid and I wanted everything lighter.
Yeah.
But it was just such a lovely bike. It's so nice to look at.
Yeah.
And it's steel. It felt like riding on the smoothest thing you could possibly ride
Yeah.
on English roads. That was really something.
What do you think in terms of all the change, that you see with a lot of, the newer bikes? You have a Diverge now. What do you think about all of it?
Everything that I ever knew and that we ever understood about lightness and aerodynamics and weight distribution was either totally wrong or has been proven to be not true. There was a phrase that I think it was even in the highway code about like cycling,
Sure.
the cycling section,
Okay.
where they showed pictures of tires, and it was happy and hard, sad and soft.
Yeah.
So it was like, so you would taught even by the highway code, which is like the rule book for drivers and cyclists and even pedestrians, I think. But you were told that you rode with high pressure.
Yeah.
That's what they were called.
And now everyone's, you're
And
running
now-
probably what today? You're running like 70?
I'm running 60 and
60?
60 on the back and 55 on the front, which
Who would have
is
thought?
that would definitely qualify as sad and soft.
Yeah. But it's not. It's comfortable. We rode across that field behind us.
That was a piece of cake, right? We rode across here. That was a piece of cake. I don't think I've ridden that far on low pressure in my entire life.
What do you think is like your favorite change you've seen over time, and then your least favorite change? Like in, I guess maybe the industry, or it could be bikes, or it could be in general.
I think gearing is my favorite change.
Yeah.
Just the availability and the compactness, like starting off on a 2x, which was only 10 speed, and now I have a 1x11 speed.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, right?
And it's like, okay, and I've got more choice and I've got a wider range than I ever had riding a 2x10 or 2x5.
Yeah.
I only had the chance to ride electronic once, that one time on the alley at the store.
Yeah, this friend.
That was magic. That was absolutely phenomenal. To not even know that I just changed gear was mind blowing. That length of time, go through my entire life, only ever switching with clicks.
Yeah.
To suddenly hear no click, but I'm in a different gear was just absolutely mind-boggling. I loved it. I love it.
Yeah, we'll get you on electronic one day. We'll get it sorted.
I'm looking.
I'll get a sponsor. I'll do that. Awesome.
I love the idea of Indie Fab. I love the idea of is it Fairlight?
Yeah, Fairlight. Yeah,
Fairlight.
In England.
And some of these other smaller boutique companies who are building these custom frames. I think it's great to see that. I hope that never ever goes away.
I don't think it will. I mean, I think that as long as you and I are around, you know, and there are a lot of people like us.
Oh yeah.
Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. No, I mean, just like in terms of, I think there'll always be a steel bike. You know, there's always going to be people who want that quality, and like, you know, I think people who understand that for sure.
And there'll always be a market for the steel frame and the titanium. And there's never going to be, carbon will never push steel out of the the market, because there are still people who are aficionados for it, and there's still, as far as I know, there's still development going on in steel tubing. I also think it's weird that there's a brand called Fairlight, and there's also a synthesizer called Fairlight. Shower thought.
But yeah, thank you for sitting down. I think that's all for. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, have you got enough? Have you got stuff in there?
I think so. It's good.
You can cut a lot of that shit out.
No, it's good. I think we'll figure it out.
There's a comfortable 30 seconds with you talking in there, so.
Yeah. No, but I like it. I like it.